Hey there, good morning. It's 11:39 a.m. and it is June 7th, Friday. Yeah, Friday morning. And I am sitting here relaxing for the day. I went out earlier this morning. It was, I have to get out early now because, it gets very, very hot. It's getting closer to summertime. And so, I left around, I don't know, maybe like 7:30 this morning. Went out for a walk with my little buggy cart to pick up some groceries, right? And it was a beautiful day. Beautiful outside, mind you, but it was very, very hot outside. So, of course, my little mind has been working and thinking and overthinking and just drilling down stuff. And mostly what it's been doing is downloading information. Okay. And the reason why I'm having a hard time focusing is because there's just a lot of information that's like coming through and feeding through my mind, right? I will get into that later, but I will say is that when you're dealing with things that are how can I say this psychic type situations or occurrences, it's like you're feeling everything around you shift and it starts to unfold in front of you. It manifests in on the physical form in some way, like I'll get these downloads and the next thing you know I'm go on YouTube and I'll like listen to some of these people with their readings and stuff, and I'll swear to God, it's the same fucking shit that was just running through my mind. And then I will get other visuals that are also going along with that. So things go in sync. This is something that you're going to start noticing when you start working with things like playing cards, tarot, forms of divination. You're going to notice that your reality is starting to shift to those fucking cards. And it's amazing, you know what I mean? But anyway, I have been getting a lot of downloads. But anyway, so we will go into those in a little bit later. I think to just bring you up to date is where I kind of left off was me talking about dealing with people who have been targeting me for a very, very long time. Okay, and I understand how this kind of works a little bit, putting pieces together based off things I've read many years ago, and then also just like getting intuitive messages, reading into the situation. I understand that, like, the pyramid peeps, they like to play these like I'm so powerful games, and without giving anybody any heads up as to what they're even involved in. Okay, so that's kind of an unfair situation, all right. And obviously, I'm not the kind of person that wants to get involved with war or debates or especially anything that's obstructing my life view, plans, goals, whatever. I think my life has been sucked up for many years, especially dealing with an experiment that is absolutely shocking. And we all know that it was originated by the Nazis. Okay, so this was one of those things that, like, really, it's a kind of a, it's leaves a moral stain on certain people, and this is one of the reasons why it's kind of like you should have known better. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, it's one of those ew types of situations. Like you want to like sweep that shit under the carpet, but you can't, right? So anyway, so we just kind of move on, and I'm trying to move forward. And I know that I've been obstructed, and this is one of the issues that I was talking about what was going on with my channel, my original layout, my original plan, and I'm always, and it's either, I think the goal is to obstruct me, okay? And I had talked about stupid reasons why people obstruct people or bully people, or they try to use excuses as to why people can't do stuff. I know I had mentioned like talking about moving into dystopian societies or that toward dystopian type mindset. And I think one thing that kind of sheds light on that would be like that movie 1984, or should I say the book, that George Orwell book, the 1984, where people are like, spying on people, thought police. We got people reporting people for things that are well within their right to do. You know what I mean? It's like, I had mentioned like, people who want to go jump rope, or they want to go, walk down the street making like little noises or whatever. It's like, this is like getting to the point where people are just acting their little hate crimes out on people. You know what I mean? For no apparent reason. And and the reason why I say it's no apparent reason is because we have the right to do those things. What it is like where it gets to the point where people have like this hatred for particular individuals or groups of people, to where even seeing them doing anything just like ignites this like fire of hatred, to where you want to obstruct them from doing certain things. You know what I mean? And believe me, I've hated people in my past. And, I remember what it was like to hate people. Okay? And like I would see these people like maybe eating a sandwich, and I'd be like, "Fuck you, dude! You're eating a sandwich," and it would just piss me off, and I would want to blow their head off and everything else. Okay, never mind anything like if anything else. It's just like just looking at these people would make me want to explode. Now, mind you, they've already did things that justified why I hated them. Okay, but in my case, I was hated on just because I was hated on because I was some stolen item that people just resented because I obviously had gifts and they didn't, right? That is not a reason to target a person or obstruct first people. I understand that this was some sort of competition, but what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of people who, out of jealousy or their need to compete, are becoming exactly what the book mostly, but like also the movie in 1984. To where people are like becoming nitpicky and trying to raise hell among people because they might envy something, because they or in secret competitions or whatever. So they'll see somebody. Maybe they might see a girl who goes out for a walk every night with jogging shoes, and she takes good care of her body, right? Well, because there's like 4 girls in the neighborhood who maybe might be a little bit overweight, they're jealous of that girl. So then they make up these little rules where this girl can't go out and do her jogging to take care of her health, right? So, and they think that this is something that they rightfully have, they can do. Like they can just make up their laws as they go along. But no, there is a platform, there is a standard of conduct that is within the guidelines of the law. And on her natural right, she has the right to do that. She has the right to go out for a walk. She has the right to take care of her body. She has the right to have those sort of standards. Okay, and then we have these other people who are on the sidelines and thinking, okay, well, I'm looking at this girl every day. Well, you know what? You can look the other way. Okay, she has the right to do that. Okay, and so now, it's getting to the point where we got these targeted individuals, people who are like dealing with, gang stalking, human trafficking, and this is exactly what we're talking about. This kind of stuff has become so fucking goddamn dystopian, it's not even funny. You know what I mean? And so this is what the biggest issue is. You know what I mean? And I understand that, that this is some sort of like weird experiment, but and I know that I've addressed this issue before, and I will tell you that I am not comfortable with any part of it at all. Like it's really 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 does bother me, the whole thing. Okay, so of course today I was thinking about how the people who were against me, and the campaign, the hate smear, the what do you call it? Yeah, the smear campaign that they used in order to ostracize me from society and basically give me no chance, very little chance of survival in this sick war that they launched on me. You know what I mean? And but I'm just telling it like it is. Okay. Now, this is not me even bringing up a fight, but I'm just telling you, kind of summarizing the story. Okay. So here I am at 53 years old, and I'm doing the best I can to try to pick myself up over something that I had nothing to do with, would never ask for or dream of wanting to be a part of. But anyway, so this is what I'm trying to do, and you guys have just done everything you could to continually stop me on. Okay, this is not, it is a form of genocide, so I'm not comfortable with the issue at all. Okay? If this is a Nazi experiment, that is exactly what the point of it is. So when you start playing with my finances and things that's rightfully mine, that upsets me a lot. Okay? So, what readings do I want to get into? I do have some celebrity readings. I'm going to go into them individually. What I'm saying is that, there's certain things that the reason why people are doing this stuff is because the country basically does run on itself. Okay, like the moral standards are like pretty much non-existent within this country. Okay, and then people don't really they have no idea of what's right, what's wrong, what's acceptable. You know what I mean? They literally make up rules based on their jealous urges, desires, unfair competitions, or whatever. And this is becoming, like I said, a dystopian society. And I understand my rights, and I had already made that. And I feel as though, I know that people think that it's funny to, squash out the kind of plans that I have to make for myself after you guys have put me in a situation, already put me in a situation, and then you want to come back and squash out my shit just because you want to show me that you can. Basically, is what the whole thing is. Okay, and so this is where it gets sick, and this is why I'm not comfortable with it. You know what I mean? What else did I want to cover here? Okay, so let me go into the first message. Okay, it looks like I pulled your card again, Capricorn 9. You have to excuse me. It's very hot in here. Okay, so I pulled your card again, and it looks as though you do understand my political views, okay? And you can tell they are non-threatening. They're not something that I feel is like I'm lashing out at anybody. It shows that's basically it. You know what I mean? I spiritually feel, and I think most people feel, that the Declaration of Independence, right, pretty much fits in line with most people's idea of how they choose to live their life. Okay, this is one of the reasons why it appeals to a lot of people. But obviously, even when I was younger, growing up, understanding basic elements at the age of what I was, like 6 years old, understanding or of people not always having things that were fair that happens to them. Some people deal with a lot of injustices. There's been things such as genocides and stuff like that. Okay, so slowly but surely, you develop your own idea on how people are behavior and the kind of tactics that they use in order to bring down certain groups of people, right? But when it comes to my spiritual beliefs, I've always believed that things that are our talents, our beliefs, are very personal to us, and I always understood that those are our rights to have. Those are our God-given rights. Those are the things that we have the right to pursue. We have the right to pursue that. That's one of those things about the pursuit of happiness, our unalienable rights, right? Our natural rights. Okay, our natural rights are developed through different things. Habits, little quirks that you do. Some people have like what do you call Tourette syndrome. Can they help it if they're twitching? But they have the right to twitch. You know what I mean? Now, if they're sitting in a space where there's two people like on side of them and they're twitching and it's starting to nudge up against somebody, yeah, they have the right to have their space. So they have the right to either move out the way or make some sort of other accommodation. Okay, so I think that it is in alignment with how things are meant or the ideal, okay? Because the Declaration of Independence is supposed to be the ideal form of government that kind of blends the two of what is the creator and what is the man form of government, right? Why? Because when you talk about things like the creator, you're talking about our natural who we are. I mean, the essence of who we are, okay, and our origins and everything else. Okay, it's very deep, but still, I've always understood this. Okay, growing up, I've seen fashion magazines. I've seen people take ballet dance classes. I've seen people go through gymnasiums. I've seen people do all these sort of things that were never condemned. Okay, and in the last few years, it seems like people have been like being, threatened because they are choosing to be a certain way or continuing doing certain things that other people might envy. Okay, which obviously sets off like alarms in my head, in my heart, and everywhere else. You know what I mean? Because I know this shit's not supposed to be going on, especially when I'm the one dealing with it, right? So I understand things are getting out of control. Now, in this experiment, I think obviously it was meant to literally destroy me. There's no doubt about it. No fucking doubt about it. Okay, it was evil from the get go. All right, so I am not comfortable with the little covert things that you do. Okay, and yes, this is one of the reasons that people are talking. They're talking a lot about this issue on YouTube and everywhere else. Okay, and like I said, this took me by surprise. So, Capricorn 9, you can see that I do not have any weird ideas when it comes to my political views. I do have the understanding that I have the right to, the God given right, to pursue my idea of whatever happiness is. And my idea of happiness is to pursue my spiritual needs and my spiritual views and talk about things like, the things I do, the things that I do. And I have the right to make a living off of whatever it is that I pose to create. This is one of the reasons why I do resist the obstruction, alongside the fact that this is the whole experiment, the whole twisted whatever. Okay, but you can see that these are my political views. Okay, I've never spoken up about how I view things on the political level. I've always been very, very quiet about those sort of things. But it's getting to the point where it's like I can't deny it. Okay, because I'm trying to figure out what exactly is your issue. Why does this have to constantly drag? And I understand I'm not interested in being in a competition with anybody. I'm simply interested in living my life, and this is the way I do it. Okay, I understand that I don't fit in like the corporate structure. Okay, there's too much going on in that environment, and it is almost impossible for people. I understand why people are obsessed with certain like standardized testing because they want to find the perfect flunky. Okay, the perfect person to sit in that desk is not fucking able to think for themselves. They want you to do, and that's it, nothing else. Okay, and I don't fit in that structure. Okay, I can't stand that structure. The only thing I actually like about that structure is the actual job itself. Like I used to love month end closing in all my accounting jobs. That was always exciting to me. And yeah, I enjoyed working with numbers. It's fun. It's fun to work and balance, categorize, even collecting receipts and like itemizing them. Even the most like tedious accounting thing was special and fun to me. Why? Because mainly is because I learned it myself. Okay, I remember it from high school, but most of it when I jumped in, I did everything I possibly could to take care of my child. Okay, so I was proud of myself. All right. Other than that, the office environment, the fakeness, all of that shit, I could have like really could have done without. I could have done without it. All right. But anyway, what else did I have that's to get from you? Oh yes, okay, I do understand that there's a lot of regret, and the like I said, I don't want to question why there's regret. Why in the world you're feeling bad about mistreating me at this point? Because it's like I said, after it's gone on for such a long time, you have a hard time explaining yourself. Okay, the only thing I do care about is moving on. Okay, I'm asking you, please do not obstruct me again. Okay, I have bills to pay. I have things, and I also noticed what you did with my JCPenney card, my JCPenney account. Okay, now mind you, I have two credit cards, right, that are linked to the same bank, right? They wanted to prevent me from having new clothes or being able to buy new clothes. That really pissed me off, and I knew it had something to do with the Nazi plan. I was not comfortable with that. It's like the sort of stuff that you guys do to try to get your way, the manipulation, the bullying, and even making, you should have known better. Okay, you should have known better to do something like this. If you're a good citizen, you should know not to participate in these sort of things. Period. Based on the law. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why we have all of these people doing this nasty shit online, or their little covert shit that goes on in the workplace. It's all interconnected. People are all interconnected, talking to each other because they have the ability to do so. Okay, and that's great that we have the ability to interact so closely. But people abuse it. Why do they abuse it? Because there's no checks and balances. Because there's no structure. Okay, and obviously when people in government positions higher positions are the ones who are participating in it, people are watching that, and you're setting the standard for the people's behavior. Period. Right? So it's not that I have to. I don't want to have to question as to why you're sorry for treating me the way that you do. That's not important. Okay. The issue is, where do we go from now? I need to get things moving, okay? And my business model has been damaged, not once, but twice, okay? Once when I had to sit here and change my prices, okay? First of all, the lag behind it, everything else, okay? You have guys have abused me enough, okay? And I get tired of it. So I was letting you know. Now I'm trying to be as like polite as I possibly can based on this issue and the terrorism that has been enacted on me. And that's exactly what it is. When you deviate from the law and you enacts that certain rights, there are certain, I mean, our laws are intricately written and they're based on the guidelines of like the Declaration of Independence. It's based on protection of our rights. You see what I'm saying? So when you deviate from that, this is what falls under the category of these sort of behaviors or this sort of thing. So now you know. Okay, so maybe you didn't know. Maybe you were just thinking, okay, we're just having fun, okay? Because a lot of people have that attitude. They really do not understand things like laws or anything like that. Okay, okay, but now you know. You know now. And moving on to the next one. Okay, so the next one I have is Cancer 7. All right, Cancer 7. You know what? I tried reaching out to you via email and I was not able to do it. I had mentioned before that you were swirling around in my head for the last few days. Like, I'm closing my eyes and I see your face. And so I was thinking, okay, I need to reach out to this person because it's constant. So then I go online and then I got people talking, or I believe people are talking about us online. Okay. And then I also get the feeling that people like Capricorn 9 and all these other people want me to talk to you. And I really do want to talk to you, but I'm unable to reach you or feel confident in reaching you because of this issue. Now, I know that I've communicated with you before, but I think it was through Google, and something is wrong with my email account, and I'm unable to reach you. I was hoping that Google would save that information. You know, like when you start typing into the field of like who you're trying to contact, and unfortunately your name is not popping up. So then I had to try to reach you through Instagram. I did the best I can. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So anyway, you do understand that, or you do agree with me that this whole issue is basically giving me free advertisement because everybody knows who I am. This experiment, I don't know if they introduced it as an experiment. I mind you, this experiment has been going on for a very long time. So I mean, when they started doing this online, people knew that this was an experiment, and it surprises me that no one ever really questioned it or anything like that. But I mean, how in the world? We live in an ignorant society. I think this is totally proven. Anyway, I'm glad that you find my videos fascinating. I do find you as to be a very fascinating person. I was watching one of your video clips a couple days ago. It was kind of cool. It was really cool. Okay, so anyway, you think that I'm going to be moving out of my apartment soon? I hope so. I'm at a point right now where I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of like today I decided, okay, I don't know what to do. How do I direct my energy? And my thoughts are really choppy, mainly because I'm getting all these download after download of people talking, people, people from my past are talking like, and I see their faces too, and I can't address every single last one of them. It would take too long, but people are like, their faces are coming up to me and they're talking very fast, you know. Very strange. Anyway, yeah, you know what? I know that you sent me some. I hope that's you. Okay, I know it's really hard to tell. Please look like Instagram. But anyway, I did respond to you, so please reach out to me. Anyway, so the next person I have is Gemini 14. You popped up, and you're basically saying that it's okay for me to wear the clothes that I wear and for me to eat the food that I usually eat. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Okay, is I have the right to wear clothes. Okay, retailers sell clothes. Okay, I was at Walmart today. Now, some people may not go get clothes at Walmart. I'll buy clothes anywhere. If I think it's cute, I'll wear it. I don't care, right? But um, if clothes were illegal or questionable, they wouldn't be sold in regular stores. Okay, so in this case, we could tell that people are playing this competition game that was basically becoming deadly. Okay, these are the sort of things I'm talking about where you are basically trying to deny a person their uh, their natural rights. Okay, if I naturally feel attached to wearing a particular garment, or I have a specific hobby that makes clothes, or the kind of food that I eat, or whatever, if that is my preference, like if somebody said that eating an orange, if oranges were bad, okay, if there was something questionable about oranges, they would be selling them behind the counter, or they would be locked up into where you'd have to get like customer personnel to retrieve it for you. Okay, it's absurd, right? But you're getting these people who are playing this game that is very close. It is basically the Nazi game. It's the spying on people. It's the snitching. It's the let me take away things that she's doing. Let me try to modify her behavior. I do understand that this was an experiment, okay? But the experiment is over. But I'm basically saying is that this is a common behavior for a lot of, or activity that people are doing to a lot of targeted individuals, okay? And just their neighbors or whatever, trying to like nitpick them, telling them what to do and how to live. And this is why I'm telling people that they need to understand their rights, okay? So that they need to understand that they need to shut it down and before it becomes violent, because these people are doing a lot of covert type things to where they're spying on people online, bullying people if they have a certain choice of clothes, or they have a certain kind of food that they eat, or whatever. You know what I mean? And this is wrong. This is also lowering the quality of life for the American people, which is really sad, because this is one of the reasons why people are supposed to love this country. You know what I mean? Because we're supposed to have freedom. Okay, and I understand like freedom has its limitations. Like there's certain people who deserve for me to blow their brains out. Okay, but I know I don't have the freedom to be the person to do that. Okay, I have to wait for nature to take care of it, or maybe something happens to them. Okay, because freedom only goes so far within the guidelines of, I believe, and which should be the law, right? It makes sense. So this sort of behavior is unacceptable. Okay, people feel like they're boxed in, and it's wrong to feel this way. Okay, it takes the color and life out of people who are getting bullied because they like to draw. People get bullied because they like to use color. They get bullied because they have some sort of talent that somebody might envy, and suddenly somebody wants to make it illegal because they're jealous of it. Okay, this is unacceptable, and it's obvious that it denies people their natural rights. So, thank you for allowing me to have my natural rights in 2024. Also, I do understand that many clones are rivals of the previous lives of the pyramid peeps. Okay, I'm starting to get like an understanding of what the deal is, and I understand that it must have been funny for them to knock the fucking the block off of the Braganza family. Okay, and honestly, I'm telling you, this is a group of people that obviously feels like they need to prove their point. Okay, I understand that you guys are powerful. I understand that you have, the power to do a lot of stuff. But, at the same time, I am trying to live my best life, and I am within those guidelines. And when powerful people obstruct those guidelines, okay, this is one of the reasons why it was written into law. Okay, it means that there is some sort of like tyrant type behavior that should be going on. It's the deviation of how it's supposed to be. Okay, so it's a problem. So I'm hoping that I can move on. I am trying to re-strategize my plan, and now it has put me far behind. So the last few days, I have just been thinking about like how just how people that I used to know, and how deep this really is, and the propaganda, and the desire to squash a person out by tainting them with something that was so dark and so hateful. This is a hate crime. And see, this is what I mean. This is one of the things. That's what I'm saying. When it's nitpicky, it's a hate crime. Okay, If you're mad because somebody is choosing to have a game in the park of soccer and they decide to have a picnic lunch and that pisses you off and you want to call the cops, that's nitpicky. So you know what that is? That's the genocide. What do you call it? The genocide game. Okay, because I'm going to tell you that person has the right to be in the park and having his lunch, and they decide to have a soccer game. Okay, you got to understand what constitutes a hate crime and being nitpicky, and that's nitpicky, and it's just getting to the point where people are just really have gone off, I don't know, the deep end. Okay, and so meanwhile, I sometimes feel like I'm so civilized that it's difficult for me to deal with it. It really is. So anyway, I am going to wrap up this video. I think it's getting close to, the afternoon. And I will be back with another video sometime later. Take care. Bye-bye.